a CBC color presentation.
Hockey Night in Canada, brought to you by Imperial Oil and Esso dealers, agents, and distributors. Ford, the better idea company with better products for you. And by Molson's, brewers of Molson Export Ale and Molson Canadian Lager Beer.
Welcome to Hockey Night in Canada. From Madison Square Garden, second game, quarterfinals, Toronto Maple Leafs versus the New York Rangers. Hello, everyone. Ward Cornell here. Hard to know what to expect tonight. Another high-scoring game, or with two different goalers and some biting words from the coaches, could it be a squeaker? Hockey Night in Canada continues in a moment.
Tough, face-off, check, score, power play, power player.
What's the word on hockey action? What is hockey's new attraction? Power players are hockey stamps, color stamps that Esso made. Put them in your saver album, fun to save and fun to trade.
Part of the fun of NHL Power Player stamps is the albums you collect them in. Like the Super Saver, it holds all 252 color action stamps, and it's packed full with stories and pictures of all 14 NHL teams. Power Player albums are on sale at the same Esso station that gives you free Power Player stamps.
Get the word on hockey action, get in on the hockey scene.
Ask for them.
Well, everybody's ready for tonight's action. Bill Hewitt, Bob Goldham are in the broadcasting booth. Jack Bennett is beside the out-of-town scoreboard. Bill Good is poised ringside for interviews. I'm in the anchor spot, and our analyst from our Hockey Night in Vancouver crew, Babe Platt. And Babe, last night we had this year's Vezina Trophy winner against one of the all-time Vezina Trophy winners, and it was a 5-4 game. What can we expect tonight?
Well, Emil Francis is a great coach for goals against, and you can be sure that he's viewed the films of last night's game, and he'll have some guilty culprits who were the cause of some of those goals against, and he'll try to remedy this. So I kind of looked for a goaltender's battle, because the Toronto Maple Leafs, I don't think they have that privilege. So, and Perrant has always been great against New York. So let's look for a goaltender's battle. Who do you call? I call New York.
Thank you, Babe. Our Stanley Cup playoff coverage will return with the opening faceoff.
I say, Holmes, I expect these 18th century houses must have been difficult to keep warm, what?
But not anymore, Watson. Esso Home Comfort has solved all that. With 31 different furnaces, Esso has a piece of equipment for any shape and size of home, no matter what age.
Take this Esso furnace. It's built and guaranteed by Imperial Oil. And you can believe me, it's economical. If you want the best in home comfort, call your local Esso expert. His training and experience can solve any heating problem. Nobody knows more about home comfort than Esso.
Gilmore, number 5, and the linesman Pat Shetler, number 20, and Claude Bouchard, number 22. And the goalkeepers tonight, Eddie Jackman in goal for the New York Rangers. And for the Toronto Maple Leafs, number 30, Bernie Parent, is starting tonight. And at center ice for the New York Rangers will be Walter Tkachuk and Dave Malone on the left wing and Nevin on the right. For the Toronto Maple Leafs, it's Ullman, Henderson, and Ellis, along with Vaughn and Dory. Brad Park is on the defense with Horton for the New York Rangers, and we're all set to start this first period, and the puck goes back to Brad Park. Back over to Horton, up to Tkachuk at center. He's watched by Dory. Tkachuk will try it again. Malone fell. Horton moves up to center ice. A pass for Tkachuk. Hit by Vaughn, and Ullman comes back. Ullman watched by Tkachuk. Flipped it over to Dory. Dory moves up now with Henderson. Henderson takes the pass, and he was checked nicely by Brad Park. Brad Park. A pass up at center for Tkachuk. He's over the blue line, and he tried to set up Nevin, and it was shot off the glass, but not out by the Leafs. Ullman wraps it to Ellis. Ellis turning at his own blue line. Malone had a piece of him, but he gets it to Ullman over to Henderson. Henderson a long shot. Jackman caught that. Goes into the corner for Malone. Malone centered it out to Horton. Horton, number 3, starts out for the New York Rangers. He's going up over the center red line, and he shot it in, and Parent came out of the net to pick it off and flip it behind the goal. They go to the boards for the puck. There's 4 of them in there, and Ullman comes up with it. Ullman watched by Malone. Malone has him covered. Dory goes back of the net to help him out. Dory picking his way out now for the Leafs. Up to Ellis. Ellis a long pass to Henderson. Henderson gets over the line. Offside was Ellis on the right wing as the Leaf player fell.
NHL Power Player stamps from Esso are great, especially when you save them in the Super Saver that's full of hockey pictures and stories, too.
In the first intermission tonight, we have for you the highlights of last night's games in the Eastern Division. Jack Denton will be along with our out-of-town scores, and Billy Good from Vancouver interviews referee-in-chief Scotty Morrison, and Ward Cornell will chat with our guest analyst, Dave Pratt. No score in this first period. We have 18:41 remaining. Second game of the quarterfinals between the New York Rangers and the Toronto Maple Leafs, with the Rangers leading in the series 1-0. Shot into the Leaf zone, and that's Gary Monahan, number 20, who is knocked out of the play, but Rick Lee gets it back of the net. The Rangers trying to center with Rattel. Monahan and Rattel, and then McKinney comes up with it, number 18. McKinney down the right wing over the blue line, up at center. A pass into the corner. Keon after the rebound. He's got it. Oh, and he just missed the corner with his shot. It's cleared back out the center. Rattel over for Joe Bear. He's over the blue line. He stops. Centered it right in front of the net. McKinney gets it to McMillan. Bill McMillan, who's handed out the stiffest check of the series against Brad Park in the first period last night. Playing another strong game for the Maple Leafs as the puck is cleared into the New York Rangers zone, and Hetfield goes back for it. Number 11, back of the net. Into the corner with a pass to Joe Bear. Stopped by Keon to Monahan. Monahan turns. He's got it over for McKinney. McKinney shot it around back of the net. Jackman giving it to Nielsen. Jimmy Nielsen, number 15. It's stopped by McKinney. Keeps it in. McKinney takes his shot, and he fired it wide, and Jackman covers up.
As Bill mentioned, started the game, Bernie Parent goal for the Leafs, and we're taking a look at Eddie Jackman, who's returning in the second game for the Rangers. Other than that, the lineups are the same as they were last night. Brad Selwood sitting out for the Leafs, and Jack Eagers sitting out for the Rangers.
All set to go. The puck goes into the corner. Horton is hit by Harrison, number 12. Kicked the puck loose, picked up by Peter Stemkowski. Stemkowski gives it to Irvin, number 27, up at center with McGregor. Shot the puck in wide of the net. It goes back in the goal. Parent is under the net. McGregor trying to set up Brad Park, and Armstrong can't get out. McGregor set it and stopped. And that was off the target by Irvin. A shot by Horton, and Parent got it and holds onto it. They Facing off in the Maple Leaf zone to the left with 17 minutes and 1 second remaining in the first period. There's no score. And as you can hear, a very enthusiastic sellout crowd at Madison Square Garden tonight. There's Harrison getting the draw to Dory. Dory off the boards to Vaughn. Vaughn off the boards for Armstrong. Armstrong tapped it out to center ice. A race for it. Horton gets it ahead to Irvin. Irvin of New York for Stamkowski. He and Vaughn collided together. And there's going to be a penalty to Vaughn for interference.
Here's that play again with Bobby Vaughn and Peter Stamkowski colliding at that lead blue line. Stamkowski didn't have the puck as it was being passed to him by Ted Irvin.
For interference, 2 minutes. The time, 2011.
Bobby Vaughn, number 21 in the penalty box. 3 minutes and 11 seconds is the time. There's the Maple Leaf bench, which from our advantage point is on the opposite side of the rink. And there's Peter Stamkowski getting equipment fixed up. The Rangers have the odd man, and the puck is back in the New York Rangers zone for Brad Park. Park takes a look. He's got Walter Tkachuk on his right. Moving up fast with him also is Jimmy Nielsen, Malone, and Nevin. The pass for Nevin goes all the way to Perron, and he shot it off the glass, and it caromed into the crowd and pushed back again, and that's where play ends. Face off in the Leaf zone to the right. Linesman Pat Shetler, number 20, will do the honors in the Leaf zone with the Rangers having a man advantage. Bob Bond serving an interference penalty. And there's no score in this game with 16:28 remaining. Perron talks to Dennis DePere, number 17. And from the faceoff, the Rangers win the draw back, and a shot by Park is off the target, and Pellick gets the rebound out to center ice. Brad Park takes a look at center, posts it over to Nielsen, number 15. He's over the blue line. They're closing in. A drop pass, and Dennis DePere failed to get it out. Here's Tkachuk getting a chance, number 18. And Dennis DePere got in front of that. Brad Park trying again. DePere after him. Passed it backwards. Still kept in by the Rangers. Here's Brad Park. Takes the shot. Stop that. It goes to McKinney around Armstrong. Armstrong takes a look. Can't get it out. Tkachuk along the boards for Malone, and Armstrong fell along the boards. And from our end zone camera, you get a good look at what happened right along the boards.
There's Dave Malone, number 17, who was Rangers' top goal scorer this year. As he put in 36 goals to go with 24 assists for a 60-point season. He's 10 points off his last year total of 70, but he boosted his goal output by 3.
Rangers keeping the puck in the Leaf zone. There's no score in the game, and the Rangers with a man advantage. Park gets it back to Nielsen. Here comes the shot. Ron got a toe in the way of that, and it goes up into the crowd. 15 minutes, 40 seconds remain in the first period. It's scoreless. 51 seconds left in the penalty to Bob Bond. Keon out there now with McMillan, McKinney, and Pellick. Rattel, Hatfield, Gilbert, Nielsen, and Park. Rod Gilbert takes a look in the corner. Now he's trying to work it out in front. He did, and McKinney intercepts. McKinney goes down the ice with Keon, the center. McKinney over for McMillan. McMillan dropped it intending for Keon. The Rangers over the line. Rattel drops it to Gilbert, a shot. And Pellick got a skate in the way of it. Pellick then falls with the puck underneath him. Play is called.
Mike Pellick coming across and just getting a stick in front of that booming shot by Rod Gilbert, enough to deflect it past the Leaf goal. Great move by Pellick.
.28 seconds now remaining in Bond's penalty. Now out there is Dale Rolfe, number 5, playing with Horton on the defense. And Emil Francis starting to juggle his lineup early in this hockey game. There's no score as Horton lets a shot go. Lee's dropping in front of it. Rolfe let his shot go. Down went McMillan. It goes out and down the ice. Going back for it is Horton, and they're starting to put the body to it. And John Rattel is starting out number 19 for the New York Rangers at his own blue line. Up over the red line at center. Shot it over to Hatfield. Hatfield goes into the corner. He's jammed there by McMillan. McMillan gives him another shove. Vaughn is back on the ice. Lee took Hatfield into the boards. McMillan. And for Vaughn. Vaughn, a pass to Keon. Keon trying to break through the defense. He's dumped by Horton. There's going to be a penalty there to Tim Horton for a tripping.
Well, now, this talented youngster is one of the fine Esso dealers appearing in the big hit, the Atlas Mark I tar sale. Is that right?
That's right. And this is the Atlas Mark I. Tough 4-ply nylon. And it's on sale now for no more than $21.88.
Well, that's just
$21.88. You pay no more for the F7814 or 15 Mark I Blackwall at participating Esso dealers.
wonderful. Come on, let's really hear it. We have time for the Esso signs? How much time have we got?
Tim Horton in the penalty box for tripping at 5:31.
Take a look at that play where Tim Horton was called for tripping.
Here's Ellis stealing the puck, going back to the New York Ranger goal. Gets it back off the boards to Dory at the blue line. Dory takes a look and passes it right on the Stankowski stick. Gets it out to Stewart. Stewart shot it back into the Ranger zone, and Jimmy Nielsen gets it. Shoots it out again to center. Sather comes out now to play instead of Stankowski. And Dory having difficulty. Back to Vaughn. Over to Henderson. Henderson wheels at center ice. Takes a long shot off the boards. Ellis went after the rebound. Sather beat him to it. Gets the puck back to the net to Nielsen. Nielsen takes a look over for Sather. Hahn moved up and it went by him out to center ice. Ullman over to Dory. Dory back to Ullman. Off his skate. Sather hit Ullman. Ullman went to the board. It came out to center. Vaughn gets it over to Dory. Jim Dory back at his own line. Leafs disorganized at this point. Now then Ullman over the blue line with Henderson closing in. The pass for Henderson just failed to click. Ullman's got it again. Coming from the side, back to Vaughn. Vaughn took his shot, and that's off the target. Ackerman cleared it into the corner. Nielsen trying to hold it there, and he does. "13 minutes and 15 seconds remaining in the first period. No score. Jimmy Nielsen, number 15, getting a well-deserved rest after trapping that puck against the boards. The Rangers are short-handed. 46 seconds remaining in Horton's penalty. And that's the second penalty in the game, and evens them up at one apiece. Now linesman Claude Bouchard will face off in the circle to the left of Eddie Giacomin. And the Leafs have Harrison out there now with Guy Trottier and Darryl Sittler. Harrison is waved out, so is Stankowski. They wouldn't put their sticks on the ice properly, or to the satisfaction of the linesman. And from the face-off, Sittler got the draw to McKinney. McKinney passed, deflected to Stankowski. He's got a breakaway. Going down alone. Right in on goal. He shoots. Oh, stop that. And gets the rebound and smothers it. Great try by Peter Stankowski and an equally good save by Bernie Perron. Rangers is still short-handed. Darryl Sittler straight down the left side over the blue line for the Leafs at center. He's hooked by Stankowski, got the puck into the Rangers zone. Giacomin around on the boards for McGregor, who was given a heavy jolt by Harrison. There's going to be a penalty here as Rolfe comes down with a shot, and Perrott deflected that up into the crowd, but an elbow was thrown by Jimmy Harrison on Bruce McGregor, and that's a penalty. Harrison of the Leafs will get the gate for elbowing. .7:14 is the time, and Bob, I think McGregor thinks it should be 5 minutes.
I don't know what Brad Park is arguing about. There's Coach John McClellan behind that Leaf bench, but they're having quite a conversation down there, and Bernie Pront listening. Now Vic Hadfield's in there talking, and whatever the argument is, it looked like referee Gilmore come out on top of that one.
Well, I think it was on McGregor, who skated down the ice, and now they're working on him. He has a cut on his cheek. They probably got that when he went into the glass. It remains as a minor penalty to Jimmy Harrison, and it's an elbowing penalty at 7:14. There's no score in the game. And here's from the face-off. The puck is shot. That's grabbed by Perrant. Perrant into the corner. Stopped by Riddell. Centered it, and Vaughn batted it back. Dory hasn't got a stick. It's broken. Over to Dupere, and Dupere shoots it down the ice. The teams are even at 5 aside. And Horton just gets back on the ice, but the face-off goes back down into the lead zone to the left. And Perrant is out questioning that decision. But actually, Bob, the puck had crossed the red line before the penalty to Horton was up. And that is why it was called back. So the Rangers, by virtue of that icing, with a man advantage now, will have the face-off in the lead zone to the left of Bernie Perrant. A minute and 41 seconds remaining. Harrison's penalty. Dory has gone over to the timer's box. And the referee, Lloyd Gilmore, is telling them to get back into position or give them another penalty for delay of game. Well, the officials aren't fooling around. They want to get this game going. And the puck goes to the corner. Around on the boards it comes to Armstrong. Armstrong shoots it down the ice. Brad Park is going back for it. Jackman came out just to make sure. And Brad Park. And 4 Rangers come up over their own blue line to center ice. Park shot it over the line for Joe Bear. He tried to break through the Leaf defense. He ran into Dupere. And Dory gets in on it. And Vaughn moves after Joe Bear. Trying to get into the body check. Play is called. And Dory shoves it Rattel. And Hadfield gets into it. Wouldn't take too much, Bob, to start something.
A lot of feeling out there. Don't know whether it's ill feeling or just the intense way they're going at it, because I know that Dory's a pretty intense young fellow when he gets out there in a game, and Vic Hadfield likewise.
I think you used to call it pressure, didn't you, Bob? On the face-off, the puck is to Gilbert. Gilbert's out the back of Brad Park. He slipped it through. Hadfield has it in the corner. Nobody checking him. He takes a look. Still has it. Passed it in front. Park takes a shot. Got it again and holds on to it. And Bernie Perrant has been remarkable in the Maple Leaf goal, as the Rangers have had some great chances.
At least Forsum playing that box perfectly with Vic Hadfield off to the side, not having anybody in the clear until Brad Park came in from the point, and he slid it through to him, Bernie Perrant, and that's, I would think, his 4th or 5th real great save off that point man.
Rangers still with a man advantage. 50 seconds left in the penalty to Harrison. The puck out and in again by Brad Park. No question about that. And it'll come outside the blue line. We have 11 minutes and 32 seconds remaining in the first period. There's no score in this second game of the quarterfinals. And the New York Rangers leading the series 1-0 by virtue of their victory last night here in Madison Square Garden, 5-4. Brad Park over to Bob Nevin. Nevin over the blue line, coming up at center. A pass for Kachuk. He's over the line. Kachuk waits, takes his shot. That was knocked down by Rick Lee, who got in front of it. Lee takes a look, fired it, but not out. There's Nielsen's shot, and that was just off the target, and Keon shoots it down the ice. Jackman to Brad Park. Park takes a look. Got it for Kachuk. Out at center to Ballone. Dave Ballone over the red line, up to the blue line. Keon's got it. Keon gets it ahead for Harrison and went over his stick down into the Ranger zone, and Nielsen goes back to cover up. He's back at full strength. Jimmy Nielsen coming out. Shot it into the late zone, and Rick Lee is there. Rick Lee off the boards for Keon, broken up by Rolfe. Rolfe goes into the corner, centered it across the goal mouth. Pellick shot it back to Lee. Lee is checked by Malone. Nevin trying to center it. Malone has it. Centered it back and down the ice between Rolfe and Horton, and Henderson goes after Horton. Took him out of the play, but the puck went to Kachuk, who got back, and Rolfe feeds it for Malone, nowhere near him. Shot back into the Rangers zone now as Ellis, Ullman, and Henderson are out there. Horton trying to come out. He's checked by Ellis. Rolfe shot it into the corner for Malone. Ellis gets a hold of it. He was checked, and Walter Kachuk comes up with it. Walter Kachuk, as the tempo of the game has slowed down somewhat with a close checking. Now then Rolfe. Up at center. Ullman failed to check him. Rolfe shot the puck into the lead zone. Perrant let it go to Lee. Lee takes a look. Shot it right onto Rolfe's stick. Rolfe's pass. Ullman tried to get a hold of. Knocked into the Rangers zone, and it's Walter Kachuk. Ullman covered him. Ullman gets the puck momentarily. Took a whack at it. Goes after it again. Rolfe knocked it to the blue line, but not out. Pellick took his shot. Ellis went after the rebound. Still has it right in front for Ullman. Broken out by Kachuk. Walter Kachuk to center. Takes a long shot. Perrant stopped that. Flipped it into the corner, and Rick Lee and Mike Pellick. Mike Pellick going racing down the left wing. He's over the line. Tried to go through. Sealing stopped him. Ellis covered Nielsen. Ullman was checked by Peter Stemkowski, number 21, and we have 8 minutes and 36 seconds remaining in the first period. There's no score. Down the ice for number 27, Ted Irvin. He and Vaughn shoved together. Dory into Sittler. He just kicked it back of the net. And Vaughn shot it back to Sittler. Sittler and Harrison. A pass for Harrison. He flips the puck into the Ranger zone. McGregor shot it around on the board. Spencer and Irvin shoved together. Spencer gets into a mix-up with Irvin. And they go down along the board. Referee Lloyd Gilmore has indicated misconducts as well. And that cools them out quickly. Number 27, Ted Irvin, and number 15 of the Maple Leafs, Brian Spencer.
Here's a nose that can pick up the scent of salmon from 20 paces. And here's Stretch and Seal, a new kind of food wrap that stretches to seal so effectively it dares come between a cat and this salmon. Stretch and Seal has this unique combination of stretch and strength to seal airtight without tearing. Seals odd shapes, too. Look for Stretch and Seal food wrap in all food markets in 50 and 100-foot rolls.
5 minutes each for fighting and a 10-minute misconduct penalty to both of them. That's a full 15 minutes. Offsetting major penalties, and of course, they're allowed substitution. Well, the goalie, they didn't take long to indicate to the players what's going to happen if they start this stuff.
Well, just prior to that, we'd seen the pattern developing of the Rangers doing that forechecking. That was Brian Spencer's first appearance regular out there.
11:56 is the time as McMillan takes a shot right on. Jackman's got that. If Keon was right on the doorstep, and Jackman just held on to it. 7 minutes and 58 seconds remaining in the first period, and there's no score in this second game of the quarterfinals. Keon lost the draw to Rattel, has got it to Brad Park. Park back of the New York Ranger goal. He gets it out in front to Horton. Horton ahead to Hatfield. Hatfield over the blue line, up with Rattel at center. A long shot into the Leaf zone. Perrant came out of the net. Cleared it on the boards. Hatfield missed a check. Rattel gets it to Hatfield. Back it comes to Park. A shot is deflected. It's a quick pass ahead for Keon offside. From inside the blue line, over the red line. The Leaf player didn't wait long enough.
That is some fine work by those two linesmen, as that was a very close play, as Monahan just barely inside that blue line. Keon well over the red line to pick up that offside pass.
Keon gets the draw this time, and Monahan gives it to Pellick over to McKinney. McKinney off the boards out to center ice, and it's Brad Park going back into his own zone. Over it goes to Horton, up to Rattel for Gilbert. Flipped back by Monahan. Horton over to Brad Park. Brad Park up over the red line with a shot knocked down by McKinney. Park had it handed right back to him. Park over for Hatfield. McMillan goes to the corner. Given a go by Hatfield. Hatfield moves in there, and then the referee, Lloyd Gilmore, moved in very quickly.
Rod Gilbert, Bill, he was their leading scorer the other night, last night, with a goal and 2 assists.
Emil Francis, the coach and general manager, making a change on his defense. Perrant made a save from the blue line. Gilbert and McMillan knocked Gilbert down, and back comes Monahan. Monahan up at center with Pellick, who takes the pass over the line. Back to Monahan, a shot is wide of the target. Nielsen gets away from Keon, who lost his stick. McMillan gets in front of Nielsen to Keon, right in front of that. The Monahan shot, he scores! Gary Monahan from Keon and McMillan.
Billy McMillan doing some fine checking along the boards, digging that puck out to Keon. Keon taking a look and seeing Monahan in that slot about 25 feet in front of that net. And Monahan wasted no time with a hard shot, beating Eddie Jackman on his glove side.
Number 20, Gary Monahan. Number 14, Dave Keon. Number 23, Bill McMillan. The time, 13-23.
13-23 was Gary Monahan's goal from McMillan and Keon as the Maple Leafs lead by a score of 1-0. Doran shot the puck around on the boards for Dory. Stopped by Nevin to Kachuk right in front of the net. And Ellis knocked Malone down. And Ullman over to Dory. Up for Henderson. Horton broke it up, knocked it into the corner. Malone's got it, number 17, trying to center it. Dory took a shove at him. The puck is back of the net. Vaughn and Kachuk up together. Henderson. Then to Dory. Up for Ullman. Ullman is too well covered by Malone. And Ellis knocked his check over Henderson. Ullman going in alone. Right to Henderson. He scores! Henderson from Ullman. And it's 2-0.
The Leafs taking advantage of a Ranger miscue at that blue line. Ullman stealing the puck, getting it to his winger, Paul Henderson. Henderson taking it back and just deflecting it up over Eddie Jackman on a sharp pass from Ronnie Ullman.
14-11 is the time. 5:49 remaining in the first period. 2-0 for the Toronto Maple Leafs. as Henderson scores from Ullman. And for Paul Henderson, that's his third goal of the series, getting 2 last night. Sittler took a heavy check from McGregor as the puck goes into the corner. Armstrong trying to dig it out. Up for Harrison. Harrison up at center. He shot the puck into the Ranger zone. Sealing and Harrison go to the board. The puck is still in there. McGregor coming up with it. Sittler missed him with a body check. Stamkowski gets it out. Lee shoots it into the Ranger zone, and Jimmy Nielsen starts back out again. Gets it up to center. Stopped by Armstrong. Armstrong goes over the Ranger line. Left it there. Here's Sittler, a shot, and he fired wide. Harrison let one go, and that just missed the target. Sittler kept the puck in. Rod Sealing brings it back out, though, for New York at center. Up over the leaf line. He was given a shove by Sittler. Then Harrison stepped into Stamkowski. Sittler trying to get the puck out. Harrison ran into Sealing, and down go the Leafs. 2 of them, 1 man back. Sittler to Armstrong. Going right in on goal, he shoots. Oh, and he shot wide. The puck is still in there. Here's Sittler for Armstrong again, and Pratt takes him into the boards, and down goes Armstrong. He's trying to center it. Armstrong's got it. Still has it. And Keon gets a hold of it. Keon passed it right to Monahan, and he shot wide. And the puck is picked up by Sather, who cleared it out to center ice, and the Leafs are really putting on terrific pressure. Monahan goes after Brad Park. He shot it around on the boards to Gilbert. Gets it up to Stamkowski. Stamkowski is given a check. Hadfield gets it with 4 minutes remaining in the period. A long shot goes to Keon. Keon back of the Leaf net. Over to Dory to Bond. Bond had to go off the end of his stick. Rattel gets it back. McMillan knocked it into the bench, and we'll have a face-off. From Madison Square Garden in New York, the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Today's hydraulic systems are designed to do a powerhouse of a job. So Esso has designed one powerhouse of an oil, Esso Hydrol, the only oil specifically formulated to transmit power in today's farm hydraulic systems. Esso made it to perform at high and low temperatures, to resist corrosion and provide the protection your hydraulic pumps require. Esso Hydrol, the powerhouse. You can count on a great deal from your Esso agent.
Toronto Maple Leafs leading the New York Rangers 2-0 with 3 minutes and 44 seconds to go in the first period. Brad Park back of the New York Ranger goal. Jean Rattel on the left side. The pass goes to Rattel. Rattel coming up to his own blue line, up at center. Shot the puck off. Dory. Dory wrapped it, but not out. Keon's pass. Long gets it out over the blue line, and Brad Park gets a hold of it. Brad Park turning, watched by Keon. Keon trying to get it away from him. Rattel turns for New York. Shot it over the line. McMillan cleared it to Bond. Bond just gets the puck back into the New York Rangers zone, and Horton's back forward as the Leafs change on the go. Ullman is out there now with Ellis as the puck is cleared in. Bond tried to get a piece of Hadfield. The puck goes loose out over the blue line. Rattel is taken off the puck by Henderson. Ellis took Ullman's pass, but then couldn't hold it. By Joe Barrett center. His pass over the line, broken up by Bond to Ullman. Ullman going down with Ellis. They're over the line. Ullman's pass was way behind Ellis, and it's flicked out by Nielsen to center ice. Bond takes a look. His shot, caromed off a leg. Here's a quick pass for Rattel, and Rattel had it hit the back of his skate. Ellis for Henderson. Henderson is checked. Evan coming down the ice. Missed a check from Bond. Dory gets a hold of it. Shoots it over for Henderson. Henderson into Ullman. Over the line with Ellis. Ullman goes around Nevin, still has it, flicked it back. Lee took his shot, broken up by Nevin. Nevin is checked. Now then Walter could shoot to Dave Ballone. Ballone took his shot wide. Perron shot it around on the boards, but not out. Nevin trying to center it, did. Ellis was there. Back goes Ron Ellis on his wrong wing. Finally over the line, he's dumped, and the puck is cleared out to center ice. Rick Lee over to Paul Henderson. And that goes astray. McKinney moves up and shoots the puck into the New York Rangers zone with 1 minute and 34 seconds left in the first period. 2-0 for the Maple Leafs. Jimmy Nielsen. Up it goes to Walter Kachuk at center. He shoots it in. Ron stopped that to Sittler. Darryl Sittler to Rick Lee. Back for Harrison. Harrison at center. He's checked. And the New York Rangers with Peter Stamkowski. Checked by Rick Lee. Shot over on the wing. Armstrong. A delayed whistle. Offside.
The Atlas Mark I tire sale. You pay no more than $21.88 for the F78 14 or 15 Blackwall at participating Esso dealers.
2-0 the score in favor of the Toronto Maple Leafs with 1 minute and 6 seconds remaining in the first period. They've had a total of 5 penalties. Actually 7, including the 10-minute misconducts in this first period. Rick Lee, back of the net. Less than a minute to go in the first period. Harrison off the boards for Armstrong. It goes down the ice past Park. Harrison and Stamkowski having a bit of a set to. Jackman to Horton. And it's Horton back of the net. Waits for Stamkowski. Horton trying to work his way out now. Passing to Brad Park over the blue line. Coming up at center. 38 seconds remaining. A long shot. Perrant's got that. Gives it to Sittler. Sittler over to Rick Lee. Lee coming out with Darryl Sittler. They're up to center. Rick Lee, a pass for Sittler. Goes into the corner. Jackman came out of the net. It goes to the corner and Horton clears it up to Keon. And Keon back to Lee. Lee shot it back out and down the ice into the Ranger zone. And Horton goes back for it with 12 seconds. Horton back of the net. 7 seconds left in the first period. 2-0 for the Maple Leafs. Monahan and Henderson scoring as the Leafs gain possession at center ice. There goes the horn. And the first period is over. From Madison Square Garden in New York, the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Bruins, Blackhawks, Canadians, Canucks, Sabres, Red Wings, Rangers, Leafs. What's the biggest action lineup? What's the team you want to sign up? Power players are hockey stamps, color stamps that Esso made. Put them in your Sabre albums, fun to save and fun to trade.
Best way to collect all 252 hockey stamps in the Power Player lineup is in one of Esso's Power Player albums. This is the Deluxe Super Saver with stories and color action pictures of all 14 NHL teams. You can buy Power Player albums at the same Esso station that gives you free Power Player stamps.
Get the biggest hockey lineup, get in on the hockey scene. Ask for NHL Power Player.
Ask for them.
Well, another interesting period of hockey. It looked very much as though the Leafs didn't even show up in the first 10 minutes. Bernie Perrant kept them in. Then after Brian Spencer's little scuffle with Irving, the Leafs caught fire. Monahan and Henderson scoring. They lead 2-0. Jack Dennis standing by. We'll have a film feature on Gilles Villemure. Bill Good is going to talk with Scotty Morrison. And right now, the Toronto and Montreal teams played great games last night in the losing cause. Let's look at the highlights. In Boston Gardens, referee John Ashley was in charge of the festivities. Big surprise prior to the game was Coach Al McNeil's decision to go with rookie Ken Dryden in goal. As the evening wore on, the decision proved almost enough to bring off an upset as he played a sensational game, matched only by Jerry Cheevers at the other end of the rink. The Boston Bruins scored first with Esposito getting it back to Stanfield, who passed it to Orr, and Orr fired from the point, and McKenzie standing by did not touch it, he just looked. The Canadians had 2 men in the penalty box at the time, Mahovlich and Harper. Let's look at it again. Esposito makes the big play from the face-off back to Stanfield, to Orr, who's right at the point in the slot. He lets it go, and the Bruins lead 1-0. For the rest of that period, Dryden was very stingy. They led 1-0 at the end of the period. In the second period, Cournoyer gets the puck to Ferguson, and there's one of Fergie's great dashes from the corner as he drives in over Orr, over the goaltender, and the puck dribbles in over the line. Let's look at it again as you'll see Cournoyer get the puck loose along the boards. Ferguson goes to the corner and then makes his move out in front of the net, a move which, of course, he is famous for. There comes the move. Out. Orr holds his ground. He pushes the puck to the goal. There's the crash, and the puck trickles over. The next goal came from Boston to put them ahead 2-1, and it's interesting to watch first one of the great saves by Dryden. On the play, you'll see Esposito eventually getting the puck and letting a great blast go at Dryden, who makes a sensational save right there. But it's after that, or getting the puck, he gets it back to Dallas Smith. He fires, and it's Cashman beside the net who deflects it in. Let's look at that again as the puck, as we see Orr bringing it out and passing it back to the point, and Dallas Smith taking his shot. Also standing beside the net on the other side is Hodge. There's the shot. There is Cashman just tipping it at the edge of the crease. There's Hodge on the other side if it had gone that way. Here's Tardif with the puck now in the third period. Checked by Busick. The puck is loose. Busick gets it to Stanfield, and he lets it back from 40 feet out. And that put the icing on the cake as the Bruins won the game 3-1. Again, it's Busick's check with Tardif. Tardif more or less losing control of the puck for a moment, and then Stanfield picking it up and blazing it away. There's the check. The puck is loose. There's the shot. And it was wide right. And the Bruins win the opener. A tough one, though, 3-1. In Madison Square Garden, in the first two periods, all but 3 seconds, the Leafs played as though they owned the place. They scored first on a goal by Keon. Ricky Lee took it over the line, back passed it to Bobby Bond. He came in and fired, and Dave Keon moved in front of the net and ticked it, and the puck went into the net, and the Leafs led 1-0 after 4 minutes and 45 seconds. The Canadians, or rather the Rangers, came back. Rattel shooting to Gilbert. He fired. Plante goes out behind his net, does not really get back in time. It comes out in front. He collides with his defenseman. The puck comes to Hatfield, and he puts it away, and the Rangers tie it up 1-1. Towards the end of the period, we get a great example of puck luck. The Leafs break away, and it's Dave Keon with the puck. Brad Park goes back with it. Keon shoots. It hits Park, bounces in front of him. He's skating backwards, can't control it. It comes back on Keon's stick, and he fires it by Jackman, and the Leafs end the period leading 2-1. In the second period, the Leafs continue their pressure, and Henderson scores first to give them a lead of 3-1. Dory goes across the line, takes the defense with him, and then gets ready to fire, looks for Henderson, passes it to him, and Henderson tips it as he goes towards the net, and it goes by Jackman, and the Leafs lead 3-1. Gilbert puts New York back in the game. Nielsen, after the face-off, gets it back to the point. Park has it, turns, fires across. It's a power play. There's Nielsen's pass in to Gilbert. Great position, and he beats the drop point. That makes it 3-2. The Leafs go ahead again on Henderson's second goal of the evening, and a great setup by Normie Ullman. First of all, it's Rick Lee dumping the puck into the Ranger end. It goes to the corner, and Ellis goes in and takes it away from the defense as he blocks the shot intended to go out to the point. He gets it to Ullman. The defense move over to check him. He sees Henderson loose, and in one quick motion, Henderson, after taking the pass, fires it by Jackman, and the Leafs lead. Now here's the tough play. There's Dory with 3 seconds to go behind the net. Some people wonder, should he have frozen? He passed it around to try and hit his wingman. Malone intercepts, gets it back into the corner to Bob Nevin. Bob Nevin is looking for his man. He comes out. Bond comes out to check. He's still looking. He tries a pass. It hits Bond's stick. Plante moved his skate over, but not in time. The puck goes in. Now, that seemed to give the Rangers impetus for the third period as they came out, and in 1 minute and 20 seconds they tied the game. Into the corner, it's Gilbert getting it to Rattel. Rattel out in front. Now here's puck luck again. Watch Hatfield. Ricky Lee stops it, but can't control the puck. It comes back on his stick, and he fires it by Jacques Plante. That makes it 4-4. That gives the Rangers the momentum, and they go on and win the game on a goal by Kachuk. Now, you'll see the goal. It was a beautiful one. A great pass by Nevin, rink wide. Here it is. A Across the rink to Kachuk, who's breaking fast. Dory comes over hard, slashes, tries to get him, can't. And Kachuk blasts it by Plunk, actually between his legs. That was at the 6:44 mark, and that was the hockey game. The New York Rangers winning it 5-4.
And they were both pretty good hockey games. And you know, after watching the highlights of the two openers last night, I'm sure the losing coaches saw where the mistakes were made, and they've acted to try to prevent a repetition. The other two games saw Chicago and Minnesota score big first-game wins over Philadelphia and St. Louis. So tonight the lineup's the same rinks, the same clubs. The odds really haven't changed much since before last night's games. Now there's another important game going on in Boston tonight. It's the only one that started so far. 1-1 in the first period. Cornway scoring for Canadians. Teddy Green getting the Boston goal. Now in just a minute, Bill Good down at Rinkside is going to chat with one of the busiest and certainly one of the most astute figures in the world of hockey, referee-in-chief Scotty Morrison. Hockey Night in Canada continues in just a moment.
Still some things you can't do with your Esso credit card, but we're working on them.
Special, Louis. And a Molson export, Tommy, right?
Right, an export. One thing I know coming to Louis every day, I don't need to study the menu. I get the best for my dollar every time. I'm not in a rut, mind you. I know what I like. Special and Molson export. Great taste, great value. Take our word for it.
Molson Export Ale. Keeps on tasting great.
Bill Good Jr. With Scotty Morrison, the NHL's referee-in-chief, out among the crowd at Madison Square Garden. And Scotty, as a former active referee, does it bother you to get out among the people like this at times?
I'd rather be in the studio, Bill, where you have a little more privacy, but, oh, it's all part of the game.
This game and last night's game both started off with quite a bit of hitting. Was this a particularly tough kind of game for a referee to handle?
I thought last night's game was much tougher, Bill. As usual, for the first game, the clubs are well up for each other, and they go at each other pretty good. Art had 12 penalties in that first period last night, and so far, I think they're sticking pretty well to hockey tonight, but certainly the tougher game, at least up till now, was last night's hockey game.
It was a pretty good scrap in that first period. Spencer and Irvin got in on it a little bit. It looked to me as if Lloyd Gilmore had to make a decision at that time about keeping a game under control.
That's right. I think he used good judgment there, Bill, in giving the major penalties and giving the misconducts for not going to the penalty bench immediately. They prolonged the thing, and this is why they got the 10-minute misconduct, so it'll cool them out a little bit.
Scotty, a lot of talk in New York today about the game last night between Boston and Montreal in Boston and the situation with Bobby Orr. Have you had a report on that game? Obviously you would have.
Yes, I've talked to the supervisor up there, and I've talked to the officials involved. There is conflict as to just how hard that Orr did push the linesman, and certainly if he did push him hard, he should have got the game misconduct. I spoke with the linesman. He felt in his judgment it wasn't hard enough to warrant the game misconduct.
Your reaction to suggestions that some people, superstars in particular like Bobby Orr, get a form of special treatment?
Absolutely not. He's just another hockey player out in the ice as far as the officials are concerned, Bill.
Okay, Scotty Morrison, referee-in-chief of the National Hockey League, and coming up in just a moment on Hockey Night in Canada, Ward Cornell with Walter Babe Pratt here at Madison Square Garden in New York. The score at the end of the first period, the Toronto Maple Leafs 2, the New York Rangers nothing.
Molson Export, Pete. Coming right up. Hey,
I just been shopping with my wife across the street. I go every week, push the cart around the whole bit. But you know, Dorothy really works at getting the best value for her money. And it's worth it, you know. But that makes me realize, as I sit here today, I don't have to do the same thing for my beer. How come? Well, I'll tell you. I drink export because of the taste. Sure, I've had other beers, I mean, who hasn't? But I'll put my money down for Molson Export anytime. You see, I always feel I get good value because I get good taste. Take it from me.
Molson Export Ale. Keeps on tasting great.
Well, Walter, in terms of relief, was Brian Spencer the key?
Yes, sir, the kid from out in British Columbia, you know, Prince George. And he's the kid that lit the fire underneath the Leafs. Johnny McClellan's had this boy do it all season. In fact, that's when the Leafs started to go, when this kid just, lit him, he lights a fire under the team. Our first highlight here is really Johnny McMillan stealing that puck and Keon drawing Brad Park over and slipping it to Monahan, who fires it into the corner of the net and catches Giacomo.
Now, what's your second highlight, babe?
Second highlight is the goal, and the key to this is Ellis checking Horton coming out of his own end. You'll see Horton coming out of his own zone, and here he comes now. Now Ellis checks him, and the puck goes over to Henderson, and then Ullman makes a beautiful play, and Henderson just kicks it into the net. And both these goals were made by the two guys that have led the Toronto Maple Leafs in scoring, namely Keon and Ullman. Look at this lovely pass. Isn't that a beautiful goal? Keon is a money player and always has been. From the time he was a rookie with Toronto, this guy rises to the occasion, and he's just great in these money games.
You want to change your bet in the game now?
Well, the game isn't over, but I will say this game could have a lot more goals scored.
Thank you, Walter, babe. Up top now to Bill Hewitt.
Teams are all set now for the second period. The Toronto Maple Leafs are leading by a score of 2-0, and the New York Rangers outshot the Toronto Maple Leafs in that first period, believe it or not, 9-4. Bernie Parent very busy and playing very steadily in the nets for the Maple Leafs. And on the chances the Leafs had, they made them count, Bob, and that's what counts in the playoffs. And we'll see what the Rangers can do now as we get set to start the second period. And it's Kachuk out there with Nevin and Ballone facing Ullman, Henderson, and Ellis, and it's Dory, number 8, with it. Over to Bond. Bond comes up to the blue line. His pass at center, broken up by Brad Park. Park is checked by Bond, and Kachuk is checked by Ellis. Dave Ballone will try his luck now in his own zone. Back to Horton. Horton goes over to Park with it. Park up over the blue line, up at center. And he shot the puck in, and Parent handled that to Dory. Jim Dory back to the net. He handed it right to Nevin. They centered in front. It's right by the net. Bond falls. It goes back to the goal into the corner, and Ellis has it. Ellis just finds an opening and shoots it down the ice. It's gone over the red line, and Horton will touch it. Icing is the call. This Stanley Cup playoff game is coming to you from Madison Square Garden in New York.
Molson Export Ale keeps on tasting great.
On our second intermission, we have a special film of Ranger goalkeeper Gilles Villemure. Jack Dennett will be along with our out-of-town results. And Bill Good interviews Ranger defenseman Ed DeMarco. Ward Cornell and analyst Babe Pratt will have the game highlights. Seven penalties in the first period, 4 to the Leafs and 3 to the New York Rangers. and Spencer, along with Irvin, are sitting out 5-minute majors and 10-minute misconducts. Rangers have the puck in the lead zone. Nevin had it, took it out over the blue line, shot it in again, and Ballone was way inside the blue line. And the Leafs are starting, goalie, that real checking pattern of theirs.
Certainly a little tougher checking in tonight's game than there was evident in last night's game. I just noticing that Neil Francis has employed 5 defensemen. The only defenseman he has used up to date has been Larry Brown, and I would probably look for him to start to go to that 4-line system of his with Ron Stewart and Len Sather playing.
And the face-off, McMillan goes down over the Ranger line, tries to go through the defense, and he was squeezed out. Jackman to Nielsen. Keon took him out of the play. Gilbert to Rattel off the board. Lee kept it in. Goes back of the net. Rod Sealing trying to come out now for New York. Passed it out to Hatfield. Hatfield stopped by McKinney. Picked off by McMillan to Keon. Keon takes a look. Shot it around on the boards into the corner, and Hatfield has it. Lost it to McMillan. Right in front of Keon. He scores! Keon makes it 3-0 from McMillan.
That puck taking a crazy bounce coming in behind the Ranger net. Vic Hadfield over on the left wing, not being able to pick it up properly off the boards, and Billy McMillan steering it out to Keon, and the big backhand in the net.
Toronto Maple Leafs leading the New York Rangers 3-0. As Brad Park, having difficulty, brought it in outside was Rattel. Here's the scoring play. One minute and 35 seconds was the time of Keon's goal from McMillan and McKinney. 3-0 the score. 18-17 remaining in the second period. Monahan and Henderson scoring in the first. And the Leafs have moved ahead 3-0. And Stemkowski is out there now with McGregor and Sather on the left side, as Irvin is in the penalty box still along with Spencer. Jim Dory back in his own zone. Back to the net. Taking his time. Over to Harrison. Harrison trying to pull his way out over the blue line. Sather got a piece of him. Harrison got the puck into the Ranger zone, and it's back there for Park, and it's called for icing as it was shot from the Leaf side of the center red line.
There's the Leaf veteran, George Armstrong, who has been taking a regular shift out in that right wing with Jimmy Harrison and Darryl Sittler.
Peter Stemkowski facing off with Harrison. Stemkowski 21, Harrison 12, McGregor is 14. Armstrong shot the puck over to the boards. Sittler knocking it along the boards. Goes to McGregor. McGregor is checked by Dory. Dory, a quick pass up to Harrison, too far, and Horton gets it over to McGregor. McGregor is given a bump by Harrison, and it's picked off by Sittler. Sittler up to the red line, a pass to Harrison. Harrison shot the puck in. Horton goes after it. Horton is watched by Sittler. Horton is checked. The puck is along the boards, and here comes Stemkowski, overskates it, gets it over though to Park. Park over the blue line up at center. Comes up over the Leaf line. Dropped it back to Sather. His shot hit Armstrong, and Armstrong feeds it ahead to Sittler. Sittler going down to center. Tried to tip it to Armstrong, and McGregor checked him. Then Harrison stepped into his check, and Dory shoots the puck right down Jackman. Now then Glenn Sather coming out of his own zone. Up to his own blue line, up at center. And Dory stepped into him. Alman over for Ellis. One man back. Ellis over the line. Waited too long, let his shot go, and it was way wide. Back come the New York Rangers. McGregor to Stemkowski. A long shot that just dribbled by Vaughn to Vaughn and gave it to Ellis. Ellis shoots it down the left wing at center, and it's picked off there by Sealing. Sealing shot it over to Nielsen. Nielsen right on a Vaughn stick. Vaughn on to Nevin, and Nevin shoots it into the Leafs zone, and the play is slowed down to a walk. The Leafs leading it 3-0. Bond falls. The puck is underneath them, and that's where play ends. This Saturday and Sunday, April 10th and 11th, we'll be carrying games 3 and 4 of the Eastern Division quarterfinals. Saturday at 8 p.m. on the National Network, Boston, Montreal, while the Leafs play the Rangers on the Ontario Regional Network. Sunday at 7 p.m., the national game will be New York at Toronto, while Boston plays Montreal at 8 p.m. on the Quebec Regional Network. 3-0 for the Toronto Maple Leafs as Lee gets around into the corner to Pelech. Pelech up for Henderson. Henderson trying to work his way out to Pelech. Pelech over to Lee. Lee coming up over the red line, and he flips it into the New York Rangers zone, and it goes into the corner. Pelech takes a shot that Jackman steered into the corner, and Nielsen's after it. And he's checked by Ullman, tried to center it. Rick Lee into the corner to Ullman again. Ullman takes a look right in front of the net for Henderson, and Nevin is after it. The Leafs nominating the play in the New York Rangers zone. Nielsen shot it around on the board. Clear to the blue line, but not out. Ullman gets a backhand, and Jackman steers it to the boards. Rod Sealing back of the net. Now trying to work his way out. Coming up to the blue line, a pass for Kachuk, and it went right by him, and it was offside. And from Madison Square Garden in New York, the Stanley Cup playoffs.
You know, beer is a very human thing. People make it, people drink it, which leads us to believe if you're the people brewing it, you better make sure it has the right taste for the people who drink it. This is a fermentation room. Here you see thousands of gallons of Molson Export Ale fermenting. We tell you that Export Ale keeps on tasting great. The brewmaster and his men, some of our people who make sure we keep our word. Molson Export Ale keeps on tasting great.
All set in front of the faceoff. It goes out over the blue line. Dory handed it to Rattel. Rattel comes down over the blue line with Hadfield, and Hadfield couldn't get the pass. McMillan tried to cover him. Back of the net for Dory again. Stopped by Hadfield. Hadfield and Gilbert got all tied up. McMillan gives it to Keon. Keon pulled away from Brad Park and tried to get around number 4, Larry Brown, is out there. Keon goes with him to the boards and play is called. But slowly the Rangers seem to have stopped skating.
They've certainly been hemmed in their own end by the Leafs all of this period. And there's a look behind that Leaf bench, and we see King Clancy and Harold Beller directly behind Coach Johnny McCullough.
3-0 is the score in favor of the Toronto Maple Leafs with 14:46 remaining in the second period. It's back of the net, Jackman. Leaving it there for Brad Park, and he just gets rid of it to center ice, and Bond shoots it right back in again. Park goes back for it into the corner. Keon tried to check him. The puck came out in front. Gilbert gets it over to Hatfield. Hatfield down at center. Over the blue line, closing in. Tried to pass it. Bond stopped that. Perrott covered. Keon then shot it around on the boards. McMillan stopped by Brown. The puck goes loose to Bond. Bond trying to hold it there. Hatfield gives him a shove. Hatfield fights for it. Bond's got him pinned against the board. And Hatfield and Bond go at it.
I don't know, with all this rough stuff going on down there, I think the toughest job on that ice has got to be those two linesmen who have to try and break those things up. And Red Shetler certainly having his hands full containing Vic Hatfield. Bobby Bond seems to be content to let it ride for now. But I thought the matchup prior to that was Hatfield and Billy McMillan. They'd had on their last shift a couple of pretty good goes at each other.
Now, Madison Square Garden in New York, the Stanley Cup playoffs.
And now, Molson Canadian entertains. Men and women both flip over Canadian's bright, smooth flavor. When we ask about beer quality, Molson Canadian landed right on top. Let That's why so many people choose Molson Canadian Lager beer when they entertain. It's the crowd pleaser.
Bob Bond in the penalty box. Brian Spencer's already been in there since the first period. Bond gets a 2-minute roughing penalty along with Vic Hadfield at 5:50, and so the teams will play 5-a-side. And there is Irvin in the penalty box along with Hadfield, number 11. And they're facing off to the right of Bernie Parent, and Armstrong is out there with Harrison, McKinney, and Pellick, and it's Stamkowski, McGregor, Rolfe, and Horton. Toronto Maple Leafs leading the New York Rangers 3-0 as they line up. It goes to Armstrong. Armstrong gets the puck out. Harrison went after it. Rolfe had it hit his skate, goes over to McGregor. McGregor to Stamkowski. Stamkowski now to the Leaf line. Takes a long shot. Perron stopped that. It goes to the corner. McGregor got in front of him. Stamkowski centers it out in front, and McKinney gets it. Jim McKinney goes back of the Maple Leaf goal. Passes over to Mike Pellick, number 4. Pellick breaks away to center ice. The pass over to Armstrong, over the line. Back to Pellick. Pellick took a shot, and Harrison failed to deflect it. Back up for Stamkowski. Pass stopped by McKinney. Rolfe moves over the line. Trying to get it through to Stamkowski. Broken up by Harrison. Harrison trying to get away from Rolfe over the line. Takes his shot and broke his stick. Now then, Bruce McGregor comes back for New York. Up at center, over the red line with Stamkowski over the blue line, and McGregor tried to go through, and it was broken up by McKinney. McKinney straight down the ice, over the line, for Ullman. Ullman got it back. McKinney over to Dory. Dory right in front. Ullman, he shoots. A great save. The puck goes loose to Dory. There's his shot, and that's wide. Goes over the far side. Ullman after it. Ullman into Ellis. Back it goes to Lee. There's his shot. Right on. Ullman takes a whack at it. It goes to the corner. Ullman's got it again. Back for Lee. Stamkowski gets it out over the line. Ullman's got it. Over the blue line. Over to Dory. Dory in for Ellis, and Rolfe shot it into the corner. Ullman back in the net. Centered it. Picked off by Stamkowski. Up over the blue line. Up at center. And he fans on his shot. Gets it over the line. Dory back for it. Dory to Rick Lee. Up it goes to Ellis. Ellis at center. Vaughn is on the ice. Offside. And we have 12 minutes and 5 seconds left in the second period. 3-0 for the Maple Leafs.
Pressure on the Rangers in their own end. It seems to have them just somewhat baffled as they're not able to clear that puck out, and Eddie Jackman has been called on to come up with 2 or 3 big saves.
Now then, Spencer and Ted Irvin have both been sent out of their penalty boxes. Their time is up. So the teams are back literally at full strength again as far as manpower. Jimmy Nielsen with a long shot into the corner. It came right by the net. Monahan goes after it, covers up, goes to the corner. He's being watched there by Kachuk as the Rangers now are going to try to force the play into the Leaf zone. Maple Leafs leading 3-0.
There's number 20, Gary Monahan, left wing on that line with Dave Keon. Phil McMillan set up a nice goal at goal of Dave Keon.
And Monahan opened the scoring as Jimmy Nielsen lets the shot go, and that was just off the target. Monahan tipped it out, and it goes down the ice, and Jimmy Nielsen's going back for it. It's not over the red line. Nielsen back of the New York Ranger net. Headmans the puck to Rattel. Rattel was given a jolt by McMillan. Back up the ice for Nielsen at center. Up to the Leaf line. The Leaf defense backed up. The rebound goes to Pellick. Pellick comes up to his own blue line up at center ice. And he shoots the puck in the New York Ranger zone, and Jackman clipped it off the glass. It's picked up by Rod Gilbert. Back to Stealing. Stealing up over his own blue line. Stealing leads the attack. Shoots the puck into the Leaf zone. Perrant to Dory. Dory stops. Up to Keon to Monahan. Monahan races down over the blue line. He was taken out of the play by Parks. Ackerman to Gilbert. Ackerman gets it again. Shot it off the boards to Hatfield. Hatfield brings it out to center. To the leaf line. Hatfield crashed that ball. And Gilbert and Monahan. And Bond goes in after Hatfield and are at it again. Vaughn and Rattel have had enough. Gilbert is standing away, and Hatfield is still in there in the middle. Mixing it up with Harrison. And that was the big battle, although Vaughn wanted to get into it. Hatfield had already combed Vaughn, so we'll see what the penalties are. Hatfield going to the penalty bench, and so is Harrison. From Madison Square Garden in New York, the Stanley Cup playoffs. Hatfield 2 for high.
Molson Canadian entertains. Next time you step up to a bar, ask for a Molson Canadian. Canadian is the bright, clear refreshment people can really get together on. So entertain yourself with Molson Canadian Lager Beer. It's the crowd pleaser.
.22, Hatfield gets 2 for high sticking Vaughn, and then a 5-minute major for fighting with Jimmy Harrison. Harrison gets a 5-minute major for fighting. 9:22 is the official time. So Hatfield and Harrison are both at the penalty bench, so the Leafs will have the man advantage on the minor penalty. Well, Tepper's really flaring under the pressure, Bob.
Look at that Leaf bench with Johnny McCall, and there's Emil the Cat Francis behind that Ranger bench, and I guess Francis is trying to figure out what he can do to get that club of his on the scoreboard. He's employed all his defensive setup now, and also every one of his forwards with the exception of Billy Fairbairn.
10 minutes and 38 seconds remaining in the second period. Ullman is out there now with Henderson, Ellis. Dory is out there, but they'll have to send somebody off. Rangers have Sather and Stewart, along with Nielsen and Rod Sealing, as Dory leaves the ice, and it's McKenney and Lee. And they've got to get a Ranger player in to serve the minor penalty, and he's in there now, Billy Fairbairn. Sather, after the puck, number 6, shot it into the Leaf zone, and Jim McKenney has it. McKenney just takes his time going slowly back of the net. Leafs with a man advantage. McKenney going up with a pass to Lee at the blue line. He moves up to the red line and shoots it into the Ranger zone. Ellis goes in after it. Jackman knocked it to the boards. Ullman tried to get to it. Sather knocked him down. And moving in with Ellis to Ullman. Ullman had it hit a leg, gets it again. He's jammed in on the boards and knocked down by Nielsen. And also moving in by Ellis and Sather. That'll mean more penalties. There's Bernie Perron. He's watching from the blue line. Sather will get a penalty. And Ellis.
Sathers and Ellis. 6 and 6.
So this game is temporarily erupted here. Roughing penalties. 2 minutes. 10:01. 9:59 remaining. So they'll have to use the reserves now, Goldie.
Johnny McClellan just on the left of your picture there behind that lead bench. You know, it seems rather ironic, I guess, after Scotty Morrison saying this game wasn't quite as tough as the one last night. It certainly developed into one, in my opinion, every bit as hard-fought as last night's game.
Yeah, they did all the fisticuffs in the first period last night. Now they're saving it for the second. They'll have nothing left for the third. They keep it up this way.
That what happens, you get down 3-0 and you start to get a little exasperated. Nothing seems to be going right for you, and it seems to bring out probably all the worst in a hockey player. And he tries to make up for that puck not going in the net by being a little tougher.
All set to go. The Leafs with a man advantage, 5 men to 4 this time. And from the draw, McKinney shot it all the way down the ice as Lee had moved from his position. And Lee has to go back for it. Toronto Maple Leafs are leading the New York Rangers 3-0 in this second period with 9 minutes and 44 seconds to go. As Henderson comes down at center, he's up over the Ranger line. He gets it over to Ullman. Ullman stops, back to McKinney. McKinney takes a look over to Rick Lee. A shot to Henderson. It comes all the way out to the blue line. McKinney. Back to Lee again. Over for Ullman. Broken up by McGregor, and McGregor shoots it down the ice. Ron to McKinney. Over it goes to Ullman. Ullman up at center. To the Ranger line. Tried to go around Brad Park. Knocked it into the corner. It goes back in the net. Henderson to Ullman. Back to Henderson. Henderson over to Rick Lee. Lee then to McKinney. McKinney right for Ullman, and he just failed to puck it in the corner. Ullman back to McKinney again. Over to Lee. He's getting set. Takes a shot. Oh, Henderson got the rebound, and nice save by Giacomo. Horton to McGregor. Stopped by McKinney at center. Over to Henderson. Henderson coming up to the Ranger line. Is taken up by Brad Park. Jammed in on the board. Here's a chance for McKinney, and McKinney was turned around. Henderson. Right out of Keon. Keon trying to come out in front. He's given a shove by Horton. Back of the net for Brad Park in the New York Rangers zone. Coming down the ice. The teams are even now at 5 aside. Horton at center. A pass for Stemkowski over the line. And he's checking. Here's a two-man break for the Leafs. Keon at center. Over the blue line. Takes his shot. Giacomo stopped that. McMillan went after the rebound. And Giacomo cleared it. Shot to an open wing. Picked up by Ron Stewart. Number 12. Passed it out to center ice. Story then over for McMillan. He shot it into the New York Rangers zone. Giacomo to Horton. 7:35 remaining. A pass stopped by Monahan. He kept it in. Horton gets a hold of it. Horton to Nielsen. Back to Horton. And Stemkowski was going the wrong way. Over to Nielsen. Nielsen shot it offside to Ron Stewart. 7 minutes and 21 seconds remain in the second period. Monahan, Henderson, and Keon. Faceoff will be outside the blue line. The Rangers are making another change now, and Walter Kachuk is out there with Nevin and Ballone. Leafs have Darryl Sittler at center ice with Spencer on the left wing and Armstrong on the right. As Harrison is serving a major penalty. Here's a chance for Brian Spencer, a hard shot, and that was off the target. The rebound went to Nielsen. He was checked by Sittler. Sittler after him. Sittler trying to get the puck away. It goes to the board. They jam after it. Finally, it's called by referee Lloyd Gilmore. .7:04 remaining in the second period.
Number 14, Dave Keon, as we notice, both coaches are making their line changes much quicker.
On the face-off, Monahan tried to slip it through, broken up by the New York Rangers, and it's Nielsen carrying way too far for Nevin. Nevin tried to catch up with it. Dory was checked. The puck is loose in the lead zone for Malone. Passed it right on McMillan's stick. McMillan for Keon. Back for McMillan. They're over the line. Keon takes the pass, and he couldn't get his shot away. Now McMillan coming out in front. Trying to get his shot away and couldn't. Now he's got it again. Takes his shot, and that goes over the glass. 6 minutes and 33 seconds left, second period. 3-0 Toronto.
And this Ranger crowd starting to get on their local hockey club, but they seem to be playing that puck in their own end, and we saw them make 2 or 3 passes at the puck when Billy McMillan had it, and only a deflection saved Eddie Jackman from having to come up with another big save off the stick of Bill McMillan.
Ullman, Allison, Henderson, McKinney, and Pellick. New York Rangers have Sather, Rattel, and Gilbert, as Hatfield is in the penalty box, serving a major penalty. Ullman trying to steal the puck from Brown. Brown was partially checked. Ullman's after him. Henderson tried to keep it in. Gilbert finally brings it to the blue line. It's center ice to Rattel. And it didn't get any further than the leaf line as McKinney. It's over the line. It's trying to get through, and it's Gilbert getting back. Now then, Rod Gilbert had to go off his stick. And the Rangers having difficulty carrying the puck. Brown comes up now to center. Shot it into the leaf zone. Cleared out to the wing. Gilbert gets it back to Van Flack. There's a shot, and that is deflected wide. Ullman trying to get it out. Ellis helps him out by going back into his own zone over here to Pellick, to McKinney. Coming up at center, a pass for Ullman, and that goes into the corner. Ullman after it, set, right in front of the net. Here's McKinney getting set. He shoots. Oh, that's just wide. Ullman tried to center it again. Picked off by Brad Park to Rattel. Rattel shot it up for Gilbert. Too far. It's going over the red line. Pellick will touch it. Icing is the call against the New York Rangers. This Stanley Cup playoff game is coming to you from Madison Square Garden in New York.
Down with Molson Canadian. What? Down with Molson Canadian. All the way down.
Out-of-town scoreboard, Montreal at Boston. It's Boston leading 2-1. Oren Green scoring in Cornway for the Canadians. And, of course, it's 3-0 here for the Maple Leafs as Armstrong centered it right in front of the net. Armstrong gets it back with a backhand, broken up by Dale Rolfe. Rolfe gets up to center ice, gets up to the Leaf line, trying to go around Bond, centered it across the goal mode. Darryl Sittler covers McGregor, and they hold it against the boards for a faceoff.
Number 14, Bruce McGregor, who was picked up by the Rangers in mid-season in a trade with Detroit, and he certainly come to life with the Rangers in a goal-scoring way.
4 minutes and 49 seconds remain in the second period. 3-0 for the Maple Leafs. Barton kept the puck in for the New York Rangers. Bond goes back of the net. Around the boards it goes to Armstrong. Armstrong tipped it out. Harrison races after it. Barton tries to get it out, does, to center, but there's nobody there, and Bond takes his time and lets the shot go to the corner. Around it goes to Jackson. Tim Horton now in possession. New York Rangers. Pass up to Peter Stamkowski, number 21 at center. Long shot off the board. On to Darryl Sittler. He's checked, and centered it. Went by Dory. Here's Horton getting set for his shot, and in Harrison. Harrison to Armstrong. Out for Dory. Dory over the line. It's knocked back again. Sittler losing it to McGregor. Bruce McGregor. To Horton. Back up for McGregor. Over the line. Sittler knocked it into the corner. It comes back for Horton. There's his shot. It's more.
That puck coming back to the Ranger point from McGregor. Tim Horton with a hard slap shot on a deflection going between Bernie Perront's legs.
Toronto 3, New York Rangers 1. Horton scoring, and that brings the crowd back to life here as the puck goes and outside at the New York Ranger blue line. .16:11 is the time of the goal. Horton from Stamkowski and McGregor. The puck goes to Pelech. Over to Lee. Lee back to Pelech. Up it comes to Monahan. Monahan to McMillan. He shot the puck into the New York Rangers zone. It goes to the corner. Nielsen shoots it around on the boards for Walter Kachuk. Kachuk coming out. Shoots the puck into the Leaf zone. Rick Lee. Unable to get it out here. It's in front of the net. And Kachuk was taken out of the play by Pelech and Keon. Off the boards for McMillan. Rangers keep it in. Knocked down by Pelech. It hit McMillan, but not out. Walter Kachuk keeps it in for the Rangers. A shot for Nevin. Pelech cleared it to the blue line and out. Nielsen covered along the boards. It's Kachuk and Lee bumping together. Kachuk trying to cut in. Still has it for New York. Trying to center it. It goes loose. The Leafs can't get it out. Stealing a shot, and that's wide. Lee can't get it out. It goes to the blue line. Rangers shoot the puck in. Evans got it. Knocked it into the corner. Kachuk after it. He's jammed against the boards. Evans got it. Evan back of the net. Here's right foot for the Loons. Haggett comes to the blue line. Here comes the shot. And that goes to the corner. Evans centered it. Going to be a penalty to the Leafs. There's the shot. Right in front. And Perront covers up. Mike Pelech of the Leafs gets the gate. .17:52 is the time of the cross-checking penalty, and Bernie Perront is over for repairs to his left pad.
That Ranger line of Walter Kachuk at center certainly had all the pressure on the Leafs in their own end. Bernie Perront having to come up with two good saves. The final one on the deflection coming off that left wing from Dave Ballone as he almost snuck it in the side past Bernie Perront, but Mike Pelech drawing a cross-checking penalty as the traffic was pretty heavy in front of that Leaf net, and we saw just a reversal of what had happened to Rangers earlier in the period. Leafs unable to get the puck, get control of it in their own end and get it out over the blue line.
Well, Bernie Perront comes back to the net with 2 minutes and 8 seconds remaining in the second period. Toronto Maple Leafs 3, New York Rangers 1. And the fans here at Madison Square Garden finally starting to blow the lid off this place as they're trying to rally the Rangers. Dennis Dupaire out there. McGregor gets it back to the blue line. It comes over here to Gilbert. A shot. That's right of the target. Hadfield sends it across the goal mouth. And Dupaire shoots it down the ice. Going back for it is Brad Park. Rangers now coming out of their own zone. Brad Park at his own blue line up at center. Got it over the line for Rappel. It comes back to Hatfield. A shot. That's high. Gilbert is bumped. Dory gets it down the ice. Going back for it is Park. 1:28 remaining in the second period. Here comes Park now out of his own zone with Hatfield up at center. Offside was Jean Rattel. And the faceoff will come back to where the pass was made, just over the red line. Monahan, Henderson, Keon, and Horton have been the goal scorers in this game so far. Pellick is serving a penalty for cross-checking, and he has a minute and 11 seconds remaining. McGregor. Back to Gilbert. Gilbert up at center. Flipped it over on the left wing. Back for Gilbert and Rattel. Rattel in the corner. Gets it back to McGregor. McGregor takes the shot. And Dennis Dupaire lifts the high one down the ice. Less than a minute to go in the second period, and it's Gilbert. Winding up. Pass over to McGregor. McGregor coming over the line, trying to go around Dory. Got it right on the net. And that was caught by Perron, and he holds it out with Hatfield standing right in the doorstep.
Rod Gilbert coming out of his own end with a long lead pass to Bruce McGregor. McGregor making a move to the outside and coming down the outside, trying to lay it across in front of the net. Bernie Pront picking up that puck and holding it for a face-off. And in that struggle in front of the net, Bobby Bond with a long time getting up off the ice.
Leafs have McKenny and Lee out there now with McMillan and Keon, who got the draw to Lee. Lee was checked by Malone. Here's Lemon trying to get a shot. That's right near the net. And Clark covers up right in the goal crease there. And sitting right beside him, his teammate. Ricky Lee. There's Bernie Perron, has been really overworked in this one. Rangers outshot the Leafs 9-4 in the first period. The Leafs seem to have them in check in this second. The Rangers have broken on the scoring column. Here's a quick pass out to Keon. Keon going down over the line with McMillan. One man back. Keon takes his shot. McMillan tried to get the rebound. Lee moved up and knocked the puck into the corner. 14 seconds remaining in the period. Horton, a pass over to Malone. Malone, a pass for Nevin behind him. It's right there at the blue line. It's tipped back to McKinney. McKinney with it with 2 seconds left. Gets it over. There goes the buzzer. And the second period is over. From Madison Square Garden in New York, the Stanley Cup playoffs.
And now, Molson Canadian entertains with Canada's Cy Leonard and his friend, Happy.
Well, Happy, yeah, this is a very nice place they've got here. Yes, it is.
Oh, I'll have a Molson Canadian.
I'll have a... Oh, pardon me, honey. Have you heard of the 60-second romance? Got an in it?
Now, cut that out. I'm warning you. Just once more. Always such a smart aleck. If it wasn't for me, you wouldn't have a word to say. Now you're next to an idiot.
You're right, I'll move.
If it wasn't for all your nonsense, we could be relaxing with a Molson Canadian by now.
Yeah?
Yeah. Now, don't you know what you want?
Yeah, but don't you think we should eat first?
When it's your turn to entertain, choose Molson Canadian lager beer.
It's the crowd pleaser.
Well, we've got ourselves quite a hockey game. With Keon's goal, it looked as though the Leafs were going to run away with it. But then Vic Hatfield sort of lit the fire. The Rangers came to life. Horton scored, and so the score is 3-1. Well, history sort of repeated itself this season as far as the Vezina Trophy goes. Tony Esposito won it in 69-70, which was his rookie year. And this year, Gilles Villemure, along with Eddie Jackman, won it in his first season. Now, let's take a look at Villemure in action now, and much of it is in slow motion. And we'll find out more about this very important addition to the 70-71 New York Rangers.
Gilles Villemure, born in Three Rivers, Quebec in 1940, played his junior hockey with the Guelph Biltmores in the OHA Junior A League. Two of his junior mates, Rod Gilbert and Jean Rattel, graduated almost directly to the then-parent New York Rangers. But Gilles spent 10 long years with Ranger minor pro farm clubs before getting his big chance this season.
I first seen Gilles Villemure approximately 9 years ago, and we turned him professional at that time and put him with our club out in Vancouver. We were then working with the Canucks. He immediately won the Rookie of the Year in the Western League. And the thing that I liked about him is that he was a stand-up goalkeeper. He played his angles very well. He had a good hand, and as you got to know him, you knew that he was an excellent team man.
10 years is a long time to spend apprenticing for a big league job, and naturally we wondered if Gilles had given up hope.
No, I never did give up because that's one thing I love to do is playing hockey, and I never gave up. I think the last couple of years I improved. We had a good hockey club and give me a lift, and I thought I was good enough for NHL, but I didn't get my chance until this year. And I try to keep myself in shape and try to do my best.
In 1966-67, Ed Jackman became New York's regular netminder, and of course he's been a first or second team All-Star ever since. However, his playoff performance never came up to his regular season play, and overwork was usually cited as the reason. And so this season, Emile Francis decided to go with the two-goalie system. We asked him why he switched this year.
Well, there are several reasons. The main one, of course, is that now we're playing more games than we ever have in the National League, a total of 78. The traveling, we're doing about 3 times as much as we ever have. And then one of the big reasons is that we have a goalkeeper with the capabilities of Gilles Villemure. We've been bringing him along now for the past 5-6 years, and I didn't want to bring him in New York until such time as he was going to play and played a good number of games with our club.
I was very surprised when Emile played me here in Toronto, the 3rd game of the year. I didn't think I was going to get my start that early in the year. And that gave me confidence, and after that, I was lucky enough to win 4 or 5 games in a row, and he kept me in.
Well, you know the results. Ed and Gilles combined to give Rangers Vezina Trophy netminding, and New York came into these playoffs with as good a 1-2 punch in goal as any club in the NHL.
I wouldn't have dreamed of that at all, but as the season got along, Eddie played very well, and I was trying to keep up with him, and I did, and we thought we had a good chance to win it, and we kept working hard on it.
Both Gilles and Ed have been used to playing as single goalies and playing almost every game, but apparently they had no trouble at all adjusting to sharing the load.
Well, we room together, and we talk to each other, and he tells me a lot about the best players in the league, what they do, and he helps me quite a bit. I think the two-goalie system is, that's what you have to use, because one is too much on one goaltender.
Gilles saw service in one playoff game prior to this season, and we asked him how the Stanley Cup pressure and tension affected him.
Well, I didn't have time to be nervous. Emile told me about 10 minutes before the game in the semifinals against Montreal. He called me up the night before to tell me that I'll be the spare goaltender for Eddie, and 10 minutes before the game he told me that I was playing. We lost the game 4-3.
Gilles spent the 2 previous seasons with Buffalo Bisons in the American Hockey League, and both years he was named as that league's most valuable performer. Leafs Guy Trottier also played on that championship Buffalo club.
Guy Trottier scored 55 goals for us last year, and he was outstanding, and I knew he was going to make it this year because he's a good worker.
Certainly, Gilles' patience and persistence has paid off. He's won the Vezina Trophy in his first season, and he rates as a strong contender for the Calder Memorial Trophy as the top rookie. And whom do you think gave Gilles his most trouble this season?
Gilles Perreault gave me the most trouble this year. He's a good hockey player, and I think he's going to be a superstar in the NHL.
And isn't that ironic? Because that same Gilbert Perreault will probably give Gilles the most trouble in the Calder voting, too. And you know, I might add that young Mr. Villemure is a fellow who lets his actions speak louder than his words because he's a year-round athlete and sportsman. In the off-season, he owns and he drives harness horses, of all things. In the NHL scoreboard tonight, we have activity just getting underway. In the Boston-Montreal game, it's now 3-1 for Boston over Montreal. Goals for Boston, Orr from Stanfield and McKenzie, Green, Hodge, and Esposito in the second goal. Johnny McKenzie got goal number 3 for Boston. The only Montreal goal came from the stick of Ivan Cornvoyer. Chicago now leads Philadelphia by a score of 2-0. The Chicago goals by Bobby Hull, who's having a great series, especially after last night's game, and Chico Mackey. Still no score between St. Louis and Minnesota. Tomorrow, all of these teams in all of these playoffs will take a day off to rest and to travel. Then on Saturday and Sunday, the locale will shift to Montreal, Toronto, Philadelphia, and Minnesota for the third and the fourth games in each series. So here briefly is a rundown on what games you'll be seeing on your screens and precisely at what time. On Saturday on the National Network, Canadians play the Bruins at the Montreal Forum, and the game time for that one is 8 Eastern Time. On the Ontario Regional Network at exactly the same time, the Rangers and the Leafs game from Maple Leaf Gardens. That time also 8 o'clock Eastern Time. On Sunday evening, the same teams, but the Leaf-Ranger game will be presented nationally on that one, and it'll get underway at 7:30 Eastern Time out of Maple Leaf Gardens. The Montreal Forum, the Boston game, will be seen on the Quebec Regional Network starting at 8 o'clock. So as usual, please check your TV listings for the time and the station in your particular area. Hockey Night in Canada continues in just a moment.
John Molson was a Bruin man, and Bruin brought him fame.
Molson, Molson, Molson.
Way back in 1786 to Canada he came. 81 years before Confederation he brewed the beer that bears his name.
Molson, Molson, Molson.
I brew the best darn beer I can, John Molson used to say. And 6 generations of Molson men have said the same to this very day.
Molson, Molson, Molson.
6 Molson brews there are today. One always comes to hand. There's one you'll like brewed to your taste no matter where you stand.
Molson, Molson, Molson.
Molson's, the oldest, proudest brewery in North America. Molson's Brewery. Independently and resolutely Canadian since 1786.
Molson, Molson, Molson.
Mommy! Billy swallowed my goldfish and he threw dirt on me!
Mildred, you starched my socks again. How many times do I have to tell you no starch? No...
If you want to get away from it all, get into a quiet 71 Ford Galaxy. The quiet calms your nerves, and so does the price. Give yourself a break, a quiet break, in a 1971 Ford Galaxy. Ford gives you better ideas.
Bill Good Jr. back in the crowd with Ab DeMarco Jr. How you doing, Jr.?
Not bad, Junior.
You feeling a little better after that second period? The Rangers seemed to come on, particularly the last 10 minutes or so.
Yeah, well, I was glad it happened because for a while there, I was hoping if we were going to make that comeback, and it's too bad there wasn't more time left in the second period, so we could have kept going, kept rolling. But the way it is, I hope we don't cool off in the dressing room because that could hurt us.
What's your situation now? You were hurt. You hurt an ankle.
Yes, I broke my ankle in the farm club in Omaha about 6 weeks ago, and the way I've been skating and the way things are going, I think I'll be ready this Monday. Now, whether or not Mr. Francis will want to use me, I don't know, but I'll be ready to go.
Well, you came up in time for the playoffs last year with New York.
I was up at the end of February last year, and I stayed for the playoffs, and this year, I guess, he figured he wanted me up again, even though I had a broken ankle.
Ab, taking a look at that Toronto Maple Leaf club, they've made a few changes, and I'm sure as a defenseman you'd be aware of it. They've got a lot more weight on the forward lines.
Yes, they do, Bill. I couldn't believe the game last night, the way they were hitting. In Toronto, I didn't think it was that much of a hitting club, but they were really on our defense and our end and pushing them off the puck the odd time, and this I don't think they were used to. And the tempo of the game tonight has slowed down a bit because I think the battle last night took a lot out of both teams.
Yeah, that was a pretty heavy start for the beginning of the first playoffs. This is a long way to go for whoever comes out of this. Well, this was it. I guess they both wanted to establish themselves in the playoffs and show who was boss, and so it was just a knock-'em-down, drag-'em-out fight last night. I couldn't believe it, but it'll taper off a bit, I think, as the series goes on. Yeah, I hope the leg comes along quickly, and we see you in this before the series is over. Well, I hope I get a chance to get in there. Av DeBarco Jr., and coming up in just a moment, Ward Cornell and Babe Pratt will take a look at some of the highlights here at Madison Square Garden in New York at the end of the second period of play. The Toronto Maple Leafs 3, the New York Rangers 1.
When Roy Hunter decided on a new Mercury Cougar, his wife thought it was a great idea.
Hard top.
Convertible. She thought the new Landau roof on the Cougar XR7 was just sensational. And those high-back bucket seats, well, they were simply fantastic. And she was really excited about the European flair of the instrument panel.
Convertible. Hard top.
As for Roy, he liked the idea of a 351 cubic inch V8. That's standard. He preferred the long, low profile and the open-air look of the convertible. And he said the select shift automatic would be great for his wife to drive automatically, but for him to shift manually. So they talked it over.
Hard top. Convertible.
And then they compromised and bought a hard top with a sunroof. Power operated to let the sun shine in or keep it out. And they lived happily ever after. See Cougar at your Mercury dealer.